We are live.
Good evening. This is a special presentation of the Board of Trustees and the Management Committee regarding the dam assessment. We are here to share information that just recently became known. As you are aware, there was an election on August 16th and a new board and new officers were installed. Several days later, after the election, and when I was elected board president, I received a call from Jim Sigafus. During that call, he told me that he believed that the dam assessment fund was going to be short for the final amount owed. He said that he was actively reviewing the account and that he would notify me as soon as he knew more. He got back to me several days later to share with me the completed information from the reconciled dam assessment fund account. Thereafter, I called a special meeting of the board with the management committee to share the information with both the board and the management committee so that all were aware. Tonight, we wish to share with you our membership. Now, Jim will provide you with the details of the dam assessment fund reconciliation, as well as present the options he will present to the board next Tuesday to address the particular budget issue. When he is done, I would like to talk with you about ways to ensure better accounting of our funds. So with that, Jim.
Thank you, Linda. In 2016, when we were coming up with the numbers for the member assessment, we had an estimate of our total project cost of $2.627 million. And we also put in an allowance on that for doubtful accounts and kind of a contingency of 7% on top of that for $184,000. That made our total cost we assessed to the membership, if you remember, was 2.8, just a little bit over $2.8 million. We divided that by 712 paying accounts, and that's how you come up with the $39.50 that each member was assessed for this project. Now fast forward to 2020, and we were given information that there could possibly be a shortfall in the dam assessment. So I started digging into this and realized indeed we are short on the dam assessment account from paying off the loan. So I dug into it a little bit. Of the $2.8 million, how it got spent, we spent $2.552 million on EIGL. That was our general contractor who we paid to do the main part of the dam repair. In addition, we spent $18,000 on a spillway pipe, and we also spent $358,000 on with 2LMN and DLZ for project management and engineering. To total that up, that comes to $2.9 million, $2.929 to be exact. So initially, we were $117,000 short coming out of the gate. In addition to that, we had estimated at 712 assessment members. The management committee gave one member a free assessment for the right-of-way for an easement to be able to put the road up to the dam. In addition, there was 5 members that the estimate was off. And then we also paid additional interest over and above what we paid on the loan versus what we collected. And those two total about $84,000. We spent about $20,000 on lighting at the dam, $1,500 on putting the ORV track back the way it was, $600 on striping the parking area, and to offset that, we collected $13,000 in late fees. Now, as part of the process of getting the lake back in order, we had approved, the board had approved spending $80,000 of capital funds out of or to help with the north end dredging, and $100,000 in addition to that came out of amenities. That money had gotten incorrectly taken out of the dam assessment, so that'll have to come back out of capital where it should have come out. In addition, the management committee voted to spend $22,000 out of this fund to pay for half a tractor that we needed to mow the dam itself, given the steeper incline of the dam. So what does this mean? Basically what it comes down to is we're $267,000 short in this account to make the final number of payments on the loan that we need to have. So we're $254,000 short as the loan stands right now. The difference between the 267 and the 254 is interest. So how are we going to correct this situation? So I've come up with 3 basic proposals that we are going to present to the board. We're going to discuss them tonight in tonight's management meeting, and we're going to make a recommendation to the board, but ultimately the board will vote how they want us to proceed.
I'd like to go back just a minute, Jim.
Sure.
So Jim mentioned the ORV track, putting it back. It was pretty much, I hate to use the word destroyed, but it was
an area where the borrow area was where they got all the clay for the dam. So
right.
They basically had to wipe it out and then put it back.
So it was to fix that. The lighting, well, that was part of the dam.
Part of the dam project.
When we kind of blow all the smoke away and fix the error with the dredging, the 80,000, it was really all for the dam, for the lake. So I guess if I may, I would say we probably under budgeted what we needed for the dam.
To finish the project.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was an initial estimate done way prior to us voting, 60 days prior to us putting that out to the membership for vote. So back in early January, we had to make an estimate of how much the project was going to cost and how much engineering was going to cost, once we started the dam. And essentially, plus the lighting and the repair of the ORV track, essentially we ended up coming up spending more than our original estimate. That estimate had to be done so much earlier than what we had real numbers for, because we had to put it to the membership to get approval prior to getting real estimates from contractors or getting bids from contractors. So this kind of thing is not uncommon, that you judge it low. Initially, just on the construction loan, we came in 117 over our projected assessment.
Okay.
Anything?
Well, I would add the tractor, that actually came to a board meeting, and we approved taking half of the tractor cost out of the dam fund, because we were told that we really needed a special tractor because of the slope of the dam, and that it was difficult to do with the equipment that we had. So I'm just trying to further lay out what happened, but I will add this, that the fund was never fully reconciled, so the board didn't know and neither did management. And we're going to talk about how to address that so it doesn't happen. But I'm sorry, your 3 options.
Okay, thanks, Linda. So we have 3 basic options to fix this, and the basic assumption of that is the $80,534 that was used for the dredging project needs to go back against the capital fund. So we'll transfer those funds from capital back to the dam assessment account. And then the $22,000 we took out of the dam assessment account for the purchase of the tractor will come out of the depreciation account, because had we known we overspent, we would have originally taken that out of the depreciation account. So option 1 is the club continues to make the last remaining 14 regularly scheduled payments. The above mentioned transfers and collecting the final member assessments, the dam assessment account would need $164,000 to make the remaining payments. This remaining amount would come from cash generated from operations through October 2021. Opposed to this approach, this would allow the club to use funds generated from operations to pay for the $164,000 shortfall. We could use the excess of new member fees over $75K to pay for part of the shortfall in 2020 as the $75,000 cap on the amended funds has been reached. The cons to this will be by paying out the remaining 14 payments at the regular scheduled dates, the club would incur approximately $9,000 in interest. Option 2, the club makes the next 8 regularly scheduled payments that coincide with the members paying their final assessment payments, and the above mentioned transfers would be made immediately. Then in June 2021, the club would use funds borrowed from the capital and depreciation accounts to repay the remaining $168,000 balance on the loan. We would need to borrow approximately $130,000 from the capital and depreciation funds. This would allow the club to use funds generated from operations to possibly reduce the amount needed to borrow from the capital and depreciation funds. Again, we could use the excess of new member fees over $75,000 to pay for part of the shortfall in 2020 as the $75,000 cap has already been reached. Cons, by paying out the next 8 payments in the loan at the regular scheduled rate, the club would incur approximately $7,400 in interest. In addition, we would need to pay back the funds borrowed from the capital and depreciation accounts. Option 3, the club makes the above mentioned transfers immediately from the capital and depreciation funds. The club would use funds borrowed from capital and depreciation accounts to repay the remaining $433,000 on the loan effective October 1st, 2020. We would need to borrow approximately $248,000 from the capital and depreciation funds to pay the loan off. The remaining funds collected from members would be used to repay the depreciation and capital accounts. Opposed to this would reduce the remaining interest incurred on the loan to approximately $1,200. The cons, by borrowing these funds from the depreciation and capital accounts, these accounts would remain underfunded for an additional period, which would push out the projects and equipment purchases that the club can accomplish. I'll turn it back over to Linda.
Thanks, Jim. If you want to put your mask on, take mine off.
Yep.
So we know a lot more now than we did approximately 2 weeks ago. We know that there was no funny business, so to speak, that it was merely under budgeted, and then we came in over, in fact, what we did budget with our underfunded budget. So, looking forward, we want to try to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. I talk a lot with people about the fact that Hideaway Hills has grown a lot over the last 10 years. We're not really a mom and pop kind of place anymore. We take in a large number of dollars from assessments. We have staff, and our needs increase. We have volunteers that do their very best, and we're not all perfect all the time. So, my recommendation is that we look at having an accountant come in maybe twice a month. That's up to debate, to reconcile all of our accounts and report out to the board and management. We all need to know where everything is on a regular basis. I would like to explore options for counter-signing of fund expenditures to include the management chair and the board president. And we would do that for expenditures over a certain amount. And I don't know what that exact amount would be. We would probably consult with whatever accountant to see what was reasonable. I think we should go over our office procedures and make sure that we are doing things the best that we can. I know that this comes as a surprise, and you aren't the only ones that were surprised, but we can get through this, and I think you have 3 good options, and just move forward. We don't want this to happen again, and we'll do everything in our power so that it won't happen again. So hang in there with us. If you have questions, contact the office, or Jim's number and my number are both in the directories. This is nothing that we can't handle. We will. And we will do better. That's all I have, Jim.
Thank you, Linda. Again, we'll discuss the options a little bit at the management committee meeting tonight, but feel free to contact the office with questions. Our emails are all in the echo. If you would like to email us questions about this, or contact the office and they'll forward the questions to us directly. Thank you.
Thank you.